Let's face it, the tech job market is tough right now, and it's not as easy to land a job as it was a few years ago. But here's what you're going to do to make sure that you're increasing your chances of success of landing a role in tech. Tip number one is to narrow your focus. It is not productive or efficient to apply for every single job you see going, especially if it doesn't align with your skills or your passions, because you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. It's best to assess your skills, assess your passions, and apply for jobs that align with those to put yourself in a better position to win. For example, I'm a full stack software engineer. I'm hardly going to go out there and start applying for marketing or data science roles because I know I won't shine in those areas. However, if I do put myself forward for full stack software engineer roles, then I have a better chance of success. Tip number two is to not only make sure you have a good CV, but to make sure you have a great CV. This is not the job market to have a mediocre CV. You need to have a powerful opening statement to start your CV, as well as the relevant experience and skills and a lovely layout, to name a few. I'll be doing a more in-depth video on how to create the perfect CV for the tech industry, which has landed me a lot of interviews and even job offers for senior roles. And if you absolutely cannot wait for this piece of content to come out because you are trying to apply for jobs and actually get some results like yesterday, then make sure you head over to www.reneelouise.tech and take advantage of my CV services that I offer. So tip number three is to make sure that you are tailoring your CV, guys. And by tailoring your CV, I mean make sure you're using keywords that appear in the job description. Make sure you're highlighting your enthusiasm for the space that you're entering. For example, if you're applying to a job in the fintech space, make sure your CV actually highlights your enthusiasm, your passion, and any of your experience that has to do with the fintech space, because this will give you a fighting chance of getting an interview and potentially landing that role. Tip number four is to make sure that you are mastering in demand skills. I hope everyone heard me. This is so important, guys, because there are people who are applying to the same jobs that you're applying for that have meticulously studied the job description, seen the skills that are required, and have gone as far as making a project using that technology, or even doing a course to put them at the top of the pile and to make them a more appealing candidate to the recruiter. So make sure that you don't get left behind and do what you need to do to master these in demand skills. Tip number five is to make sure that you have solid proof of your expertise. It is not enough in this day and age to just say, I can do this. You need to be able to show and demonstrate what it is that you can do, whether that be through technical content creation, whether that's in video or written format, or you could also show your expertise through your contributions to open source projects as well. Besides this, I think one of the best ways to showcase your expertise is in the form of having a personal portfolio which hosts all of the projects that you have done. And this is important because it will essentially serve as a business card, which is telling recruiters and employers that you are the right person for the job, and here is the evidence. I'll be doing a much more in-depth video about what to include in your personal portfolio to increase your chances of success. So make sure that you're following and you stick around for that. Tip number six is to make sure that you are building a personal brand. This is something that I feel I could have done a lot earlier on in my career, but I was so worried about my perception and my knowledge or lack thereof. So don't be like me. Make sure that you, even at the beginning of your career, are sharing your process, sharing the journey with us, because it's not only entertaining to see, people love a come up story, but it's also very interesting to employers and recruiters who are having a look at candidates and seeing what type of work they have been doing towards achieving this role. They love to see the grind and the hustle. So don't hide that. And even for those of you who have been in the industry for a few years and you're not at the beginning of your journey, it is never too late to start building your personal brand. I am 5 years into my journey and I've only just started this year, essentially, or late last year. However, it is already attracting opportunities and I'm absolutely loving the process. Tip number seven is to make sure you are networking strategically and intentionally, guys. 70 to 80% of jobs are filled through networking. So don't miss out on that window of opportunity. And when you're networking with these professionals in the space, make sure you're not just asking for a job outright. Ask for advice, ask for tips, ask for insights, and then ask for referrals. And as much as you think that a working professional in this space is giving you a huge opportunity by referring you to their company, which it is an opportunity, it's also an opportunity for them to potentially earn some commission on you getting hired. So I really want you to have this in mind when you're asking for referrals, and hopefully it gives you a bit more confidence to do so, knowing that it's also going to benefit the person you're asking to if you get hired. So tip number 8 is to use all of the resources available to you to increase your productivity and efficiency when it comes to applying for multiple jobs. For example, you can use a platform called Simplify, which I learned about recently. And this platform actually makes the whole job application process a lot less painful because it uses AI to fill out the job applications for you. And so you don't have to do that yourself. And not only that, it also scans your CV for keywords and assesses how well it matches against the job description to give you an idea of how likely you are to be accepted for an interview or even the job offer. And I think that's super useful in accelerating the speed at which you get out those applications and increasing the volume of your applications, but also giving you an idea of how you need to be tailoring your CV a bit better to achieve success in your job hunt. Tip number 9 is acing the interview. Yes, guys, this is the most important thing on this list because you can do everything else. But if you are not preparing meticulously for each and every interview that you have, then you are essentially preparing to fail. So, what's that saying? Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. We don't want to fail, not in 2025. So, make sure you are preparing by using the resources that are available to you. For example, if you're trying to get into engineering, practice your problem solving using Code Wars and LeetCode. Make sure you're practicing your STAR technique for answering questions because this is widely recognized in the industry. And when you follow the STAR technique, it definitely is a signal to employers that this person has prepared for this interview. Make sure you're also researching the company thoroughly to understand their mission, their values, their goals, and exactly what it is that they're trying to achieve as a whole so that you can align that conversation better and place yourself as a great fit. Of course, this is reneelouise.tech. I am going to be doing a separate video in depth about how to ace an interview. So make sure you're subscribing, following, and sticking around for that. Tip number 10 is to make sure that you are staying resilient and adaptable. I can't emphasize the importance of resilience on this tumultuous journey of landing yourself a tech job in a tough tech market. And there's two types of people: the ones that keep going no matter what and don't let any rejection stop them and eventually land their role. And there are others who give up at the first or second rejection and never end up getting their role that they truly deserve. So make sure that you're choosing to be the first type of person, being extremely resilient. And one way that you can actually do this is by not getting too emotionally attached to any of the roles that you're applying for. I know that it can be an emotional roller coaster, but detaching yourself and seeing every single opportunity or rejection as a learning curve will help you immensely in this journey of landing your role. And if you do get a rejection, make sure that you are investigating why. Find out exactly what that feedback was. Where did you fall down so that you can keep iterating on your approach and get better with every single interview. And in terms of adaptability, make sure that you are staying open minded to the type of work that you take on. Don't be so rigid when it comes to, I need to work a full time job and a full time job only. If there are contracting roles there and freelancing roles there, be open to taking those on as well, because they can only serve as a catalyst in your journey for eventually landing your dream role. So stay open minded and stay strong in this journey as well, guys. If you've gotten to the end of this video, then I just want to say thank you very much for watching, but also a big well done, because it shows that you're clearly investing in yourself. You want a clear strategy on how you can win in 2025 and get yourself that tech job. And this is a great place to start. So make sure that you subscribe and stick around because we're going to have so much more content on this channel. I'm overflowing with ideas and I'm definitely open to any suggestions from you of what you would like to see also. But I'll see you in the next one, guys. We release videos every single Sunday, so stick around for the next one. Bye.